Alright. Erinville is devastated though. Erinville looks upon Yassulani in disbelief. It doesn't make sense. That tower, was it always there? Tower? I don't think so. No, definitely not. Nor the wall over there. The material is not something we use in Dural. It's closer to what we saw at the gate to the Golden City, or those mechanical soldiers. Such a massive structure couldn't possibly have been built in so short a time. Then I'm inclined to assume we've been transported to another location. Or perhaps... Well, speculation will avail us naught. We need to learn more before we can draw conclusions. But I hope there is no more talking to people, because I have my limits, you know? Let's take a look around then. That's some weird shit, alright. Okay. That looks like a train station, doesn't it? Yeah, and it is. That must be Yassulani Station, where the passengers disembarked. You missed the best... Yeah, we just finished it. It was so cool. And I only got rings and... only accessories. God damn it. Didn't get any of the gear. And perhaps... well, the body... well, the body part... well, you know what I mean. Then perhaps we'll find someone to talk to there. Let's go and investigate. That's what I came to here for. Oh, should have come here first. I'm pretty sure this is Yassulani Station. But from the state of it, I'd swear it was abandoned years ago. I'm not sure what to make of this. We should look around a bit more. Rusty train turntable. You find a train turntable. The thick layers of rust suggest it hasn't been used in years. What the hell? What do you guys do to this place? Did you advance in time or something? The building is a rotting husk. It has clearly been many years since anyone lived here. Bleh. Rusty train tracks. Oh, I need their current. The tracks are heavily rusted. It would seem they haven't been tended to for a long while. Oh, so yeah, I was right. You can have their armor as a glamour. Oh, as a gear, and then a glamour. Finished poking around, have you? Let's gather everyone then. I want you all to take a look at this. It's one of the mechanical soldiers, long since broken apart. Oh, it wasn't a person. It's a mechanical soldier that's just standing there. But I'd say its presence confirms this is indeed Zoralja's domain we're in. What about the rest of you? Did you learn something? So all evidence suggests this is Yassulani Station. Aye, and I've no doubt we are in Yassulani, but I don't understand why these buildings are so run down. They were completed barely a year ago. For new structures to deteriorate and enormous ones to appear in a flash, if I didn't know better, I'd say time flows differently here. Exactly. Such a thing even possible? I will climb out, I have no idea. We have encountered this phenomenon before, as so it happens. Though it may be difficult to believe, our world is but one of several. In some respects they are similar to one another, but in others wholly different. We call them reflections. Simply put, the rift between dimensions causes time to flow at a different pace in each world. While hours pass in one, years may have come and gone in another. But if this is Yassulani, then we should still be in the source. The flow of time should be synchronized. I'm not sure I follow all this talk of reflections and dimensions, but if Erenville says this is Yassulani, then it must be. Your village is a little further along, right? Erenville? Oh, yes, it's a short distance to the northwest. Let's head there next then. Rather than talk theory, it's always better to confirm things firsthand. Oh, it's the name of the quest. Bzz. May I be of assistance? Is it still functioning? It doesn't seem to be hostile, at least. Perhaps we can ask it some questions. Can you tell us where we are?
Unable to confirm credentials. Please present citizen identification.
Seems it's broken after all. Too strange by half. Let's leave it be and get going. Oh my god, I was going to do it myself. Are those lightning rods? Would you accompany me for a moment? There's something I wish to investigate. It was damn perfect. Oh, there's something big on that direction. Look there. Look there. The lightning appears to be drawn to those pole-shaped structures over yonder. The design suggests there is some manner of lightning rod. Let's go and take a closer look. What's a red spot in the middle of purple? It's Graha. This material appears to be the same as that used in the mechanical soldiers and warships. Box hatch? On closer inspection, it appears to bear fine etchings, rather reminiscent of arcane runes. These, I suspect, they are not merely decorative. I would posit it's used to harness lightning as a source of energy. Quite impressive technology.
Well, if it isn't the consequences of your own actions.
Yeah. I'll share these observations with Ishtola. For a blessing, the dome doesn't appear to interfere with link pearls. Thanks for accompanying me. Let's head to the village and find the others. Village? Oh yeah, the village. It's supposed to be his village, apparently. What in the world? There's another machine over there. It's probably an android.
My home. It's in ruins. But why? What happened here?
I put the glamour on.
And
I'm
where is
wearing it,
everyone?
but with glamour.
I had a look in a few of the other houses, but they had clearly been abandoned.
Damn it all. None of this makes sense.
Excuse me? Are you looking for someone?
I saw you. Natuurlijk, YOLO.
I apologize for giving you a fright. However, I did have reason to keep to the shadows.
Oh yeah?
Sorolja has told me a great deal about you.
Zoralja.
Sorolja?
Greetings, and welcome to the realm of Alexandria.
From Final
I am
Fantasy
Sphene,
10,
the Queen
9?
of Reason.
Queen of Reason?
Queen of Reason?
If you are the Queen of Reason, is there perhaps a...
Yes, if you mean to ask if there is a King of Resolve. Zorulja holds that title, and together do we reign.
Eh?
Then you are both behind the attack on Tuliyola.
Kick the princess.
And I doubt you're here to offer us a warm reception.
No, you have it all wrong. I am not come to fight. Zorulja rules alongside me, but that is a matter of expedience. In truth, we are at odds, he and I. It is at considerable risk to myself and my people that I come before you to beg your aid.
Our aid? I'll admit I cannot imagine King Zorolja is keen to share and share alike. But if what you say is true, you're still the queen.
Indeed. But I was once the sole ruler of Alexandria. Until one day, he appeared, bent on conquest. In my weakness, I feared his power. So I persuaded him to forego violence and strike a bargain. I would remain queen, and he would receive technology that would empower him to achieve even loftier ambitions, along with the knowledge to use it. A gamble, to be sure, but if it might spare my people...
You contained others with that.
If I may, the dome surrounding these lands was erected but recently. How is it he was able to not only invade, but instate a new system of leadership in a mere matter of days?
I've never heard of your realm. And this place is, or at least was, Yassolani. The house I grew up in is still here. But 3 years ago, that tower and these strange contrivances weren't. Nor was our village in ruins. Where did you come from? And what happened to the people who lived here? You must know!
I realize how confusing this all must be. Truth be told, I don't fully understand it myself. What I can say is that one day, people from your Tuliolol suddenly appeared here in Alexandria. Or perhaps it was we who found ourselves in Tuliolol. Until but recently, we were completely unaware of events taking place beyond the barrier surrounding our realm.
Does this not remind you of the Crystal Tower? How after the 8th Umbral Calamity, we devised a means to transport the Spire across time and space from the source unto the first. Granted, this is on a much larger scale, if that is indeed what has happened. Not only the people and structures, but also the surrounding environment. Regardless, the people of Lakeland perceived the arrival of the Crystal Tower much as the Queen describes her own experience. Sudden and inexplicable.
Well then, you appear to have a better grasp of our circumstances than we do. Indeed, more than I dared hope. In which case, a closer examination of the effects of this phenomenon may afford us more insights. Allow me to take you to the outskirts. A number of the Shatona live there as well. Perhaps your acquaintances are among them.
Hold on. If we accept, there's no guarantee we're not walking into a trap.
She still has her hand in the
If we're to
weapon.
defeat Zorolja, we need to understand how he grew so strong. Besides...
You're right.
Queensfiend, before we go, Your Majesty, I have to ask, did you really have nothing to do with the attack on Tuliolol?
Noble Wook Lamart, shall we dispense with the formalities? I'll not deny the soldiers and airships that attacked your people are products of Alexandria. But it was Zorolja, not we, who fashioned them into weapons of war and laid siege to Tuliolol.
So he alone is to blame.
No, I may not have prosecuted this war, but I nevertheless bear responsibility for it.
Perhaps. I know next to nothing about you, let alone what you've been through. So by all means, show us around. I think we'll learn a lot from meeting your people.
delightful. If you would follow me.
Huh. Isn't it a little odd for the queen to be walking about on her lonesome?
Is that concern or suspicion?
Suspicion.
If things should take a turn for the worse, might I call upon your aid?
Eh?
I jest, of course. But you do strike me as the most capable here.
Oh, yeah. And she didn't answer the question. I love it. Queenie has a crush on Lily. I mean, can you blame her? Alice is not having this. She's not having even a little bit of this. I think it goes without saying, but we're not going to trust her just like that, right? Any way you look at it, a mysterious girl who appears out of nowhere proclaiming herself a queen is suspicious. No, everything is super fishy about this. I got some hot chocolate. Alice is inclined to keep a close eye on the queen. Well, having established that we should be wary, we could use more information. So let's head to this place, the outskirts, and see what we can learn. Perhaps about Sphene as well. Yeah, that's super fishy. I trust you have similar farming facilities in Tural. Well, not like that. They're completely different from ours. I've got no idea what all those machines do. We settled on this approach after some trial and error. The Turali have their own methods of farming, which they wanted to continue employing. But the environment makes it challenging. There's too much rain and not enough light. Thankfully, the use of electrope has allowed us to fortify the buildings here, as well as provide what nature cannot. Electro what? Timey-wimey stuff, yeah. Electrope. It's a material we use for myriad devices and applications. A topic for another time, perhaps. If you would follow me, we're nearly to the outskirts.
Here we are. Though you'll doubtless find much of what you see in Alexandria strange, the traditional agriculture practiced in this village at least should be familiar.
Queen Sphene? What business brings her here, I wonder?
The queen has come!
You look well, Paquine. And Katonye, I see you've already taken to your new position.
When she introduced herself as queen, I was expecting someone colder. Honestly, she reminds me of you, Lamachi.
Me?
It's only natural for a ruler to love her people. And I should like to know them as best I can, even the most trifling details.
The more you come to know them, the more you grow to love them. Who they are and what they've built.
That's it. Beautifully put.
And it would appear that she is well loved in turn.
Your Majesty, you honor us with your presence. And who are these fine people?
Tuliolol's vow of resolve Wuk-Lamat and her companions. They come from beyond the barrier, but you needn't worry. They are good people and are to be treated as my honored guests.
The rumors of a link to the outside are true, then. Wuk-Lamat is still so young. Ah, where are my manners? I am Papone, a leader of sorts of the people living out here.
Papone? That is a Tonawautan ring to it.
Right you are. I take it you hail from this region as well? Teshpiani, perhaps?
Yes, I do. I don't suppose you know a woman by the name of Kafkiwa?
Kafkiwa? I'm afraid I'm not sure if I've ever met someone with that name.
Oh. Mother isn't here. But it's a relief to know at least some of the people of Yasulani are alive and well.
Your mother, you say? Now that you mention it, I do see the resemblance.
You know my mother?
I do. Yes.
Then tell me, please, where is she?
I cannot say. Not here, but I promise I will in due time.
I have a question, Pepone. Do you recall what happened the day the dome first appeared?
The barrier? Well, I remember fixing a shelf that had collapsed after a terrible earthquake. Then the ground began to tremble. There was a brilliant flash of light, and then... Forgive me, my recollection of it all is rather poor.
You needn't push yourself, Papone. After 30 years, no one could blame you for not remembering.
30 years? As in 30 years in the past?
Absurd though it may sound, there is no doubt in my mind the events that led to the joining of our lands occurred 30 years ago. Which is not to say I understand why our perceptions of the intervening time are so radically different. We only just became aware of the discrepancy when Zoralja's military base was completed, and we were at last able to venture beyond the barrier.
I believed you long dead. To have the chance to kill you myself is an unforeseen blessing.
"30 years. Little wonder Zoralja assumed our father had already passed away.
It's not unlike how time passes differently in the First and the Source. The fluctuating space of the rift between them disrupting temporal equivalence. Perhaps the same holds true here, and time flowed faster within the dome.
Meaning this is a place of another reflection?
I cannot say for certain, but I strongly suspect that to be the case. And based on the Queen's account, this encampment may have come to serve as a physical bridge between the two planes, after which the dome was forced into the Source's temporal flow.
If we're to be certain of anything, we need more information. Sveen, would it be all right if we had a look around and spoke with the townspeople?
By all means.
Time to see what we can see of Alexandria, then.
And its people. I may yet find familiar faces among the survivors from Yasolani.
Even if I don't understand the half of it, I would learn more of this place before we confront Zoralja.
Perhaps you'd care to see how we make our living. Though we have always prided ourselves on the use of traditional Tonawatan farming methods, the use of electro-fueled technologies has led to countless agricultural innovations.
I would join you as well.
Ma'am, please, you needn't trouble yourself.
It's no trouble at all. And I promise not to cause any manner of distraction.
Reassuring words, or they would be had I not heard them countless times before. Very well, but do be careful.
Of course. I shall proceed with the utmost care. Now then, if you two would follow me, we can begin the tour.
I can't say that I trust her yet, but I trust that her affection for these people is genuine. And that's enough for me.
So first I thought that strange quote from Zoralja, it was because it was someone else talking through him. But I also noticed that his scales were faded. So now it makes sense. It was himself, but he was 30 years older. And still a douchebag. Detective Lily, hell yeah! Electrope has done much to improve the efficiency of their farming, but hasn't replaced everything. The people wanted to preserve their old way of life, and we did not want to force ours upon them. You went to such lengths so that our cultures could coexist, even going so far as to learn our tongue. I'm sure everyone appreciated that. Communication was thankfully not an issue, for the Turali tongue is surprisingly similar to Alexandrian. Of course, there are words and phrases for which there is no equivalent, but those can be taught with minimal effort. Through mutual respect, understanding, and patience, we Alexandrians and Turali have learned a great deal from one another. And I am sure there is much you wish to learn as well. So please, if you have questions, do not hesitate to ask. A day in the life. Sven is eager to show you around. Upi's Halo, it's called. We can speak with one of the farmers when we arrive. Okay. The farm. I guess we're off to Upi's Halo. Yeah, we are. Mahusa. Allow me to introduce you to Mahusa, one of the most experienced farmhands in all of Alexandria. She is well versed in myriad farming techniques. Indeed, the wealth of knowledge she has shared with the other farmers is what has allowed this place to flourish. I'm creating words in the middle. Queen Sven, to what do I owe this sudden shower of praise? My apologies for the interruption. I am come with guests from beyond the barrier. They wish to learn more They wish to learn more of Alexandria, so I invited them to see how our crops are grown. I do hope that's all right. So the rumors of visitors from the outside were true. What manner of hosts would we be to deny them a look around? And I gather your majesty also intended to check on things here. You know me too well, Mahusa. I sought to seize this opportunity to see how the farmers fare, and perhaps pepper them with a few questions, though I do so enjoy observing and taking part in the work too. It would appear we have her permission, so please walk the grounds to your heart's content. You go on ahead, I'll keep Sven company. Yeah, I heard about that. Don't misunderstand, I'm not the suspicious type, but given our positions, it would make sense for us to go around together, wouldn't you say? A fair point, but be sure not to let me out of your sight. I shall remain under Wuklamat's watchful eye. Pray, come find us after you've seen your fill and spoken with the other farmhands. Elias! Hey! Light levels appear to be fine. As for the power source... Oh, you wish to know about my job? Remind me of Asahi with his hair. I don't like it. I tend to the fields mostly, watering crops, keeping the soil fertile, and so on. It admittedly took some time until I fully understood how best to carry out my duties. I also manage the lamps we use in the fields. We do our best to keep everything up to code, but should they ever start to malfunction, it's up to me to fix them. The land and sky being what they are, ensuring a rich harvest makes for constant work. But honestly, I enjoy how involved the process is. Both my parents being Alexandrian, I didn't grow up knowing much of anything about farming. Every day is an opportunity to learn and grow. Oh, an unfamiliar face. I gather this is your first time on site then. Well, this here's the storehouse, or rather the entrance. The real storehouse is underground, much more spacious, and equipped with a temperature regulation system to keep the harvest from spoiling. Since the entrance is so small, It's much easier to prevent wild beasts from wandering inside, which also makes it a viable facility for breeding and raising livestock. We've even got a few beds down there for emergencies. My parents often complain about how Alexandrian technology and electrope complicate our lives, but it's just a matter of learning how things work. Take my job, for instance. I'm presently overseeing the storage of harvested crops. They will be taken up to the tower for processing, and from there find their way to every dining table in Alexandria. The work is hard, I'll not deny, but I take great satisfaction in what we do. Okay. They're saying that you and yours are visitors from beyond the barrier. That true? So it is, which means we're connected to the outside world again. Again? Not that I have a desire to leave, mind you. I'm quite content with my life here in Alexandria. But setting that aside, you're here to observe our work, right? As you can see, I'm in charge of livestock. Here at UPS Halo, we produce not only fruits and vegetables, but also meat, poultry, and eggs. Tending the animals is an absolute joy, but I have to be careful not to grow attached. It's always a little sad when they are shipped off, but a job is a job. Well, I need to get back to it, but it was nice talking to you. Please give my regards to the Queen. I see. Don't be too hard on yourself. Anyone would have been hard-pressed to deal with such a thing. Oh, welcome back. My apologies for failing to notice your return. I gather you've had your fill of speaking with the farmers? Then let us return to Mausa. Well, what are your impressions on the farm? Electrope is quite impressive. You hate this song now? So it was the Electrope that caught your eye. That's only natural, I suppose, if you come from a place without it. Still, you only seem mildly impressed. This leads me to believe you have experience with even more marvelous technology. I'd love to hear your tales one day. And what did you think of our little tour, Lamati? Oh, they're calling... Whoa, we're using family names here? What did you call me? Was that inappropriate? My apologies. I heard the others call you by that name and I thought... No, it's fine. As you said before, we've no need for titles and formalities. As for my thoughts, I was very impressed. That machines could be used to overcome so harsh an environment is amazing. I've never seen anything like it. The feeling is understandable. Indeed, many still find the machinery behind me baffling. It's a system that controls the distribution of water for the fields and livestock. It's been acting up lately, though. Acting up, you say? You needn't worry, my queen. It happens fairly often. Put simply, it's taken in water that had a strong lightning charge. We think some creatures have become charged up with the energy and they are releasing it into the river we use as a source. The system would return to normal if the creatures were dealt with, but I'm reluctant to beg it of the army. We could take care of it if you'd like. That is most gracious of you to offer, but it's much too dangerous. Please. It's no trouble for the Valorous of Tulihiolol. Regardless of how the relationship between our nations may develop, if there are people in need, I want to help. Simple as that. And Eliena is even stronger than I am. It shouldn't take us long at all. Then very well, I gratefully accept, but please take all care. This ought to go even faster if you and I search for lightning charge fiends on our own. Good hunting. Okay. Ah, you're both all right, thank goodness. You really needn't have worried so much. We barely broke a sweat dealing with the fiends. They are all gone now. Of course I was worried. You're my dear guests. But thank you, we truly appreciate that. Indeed, with this, we won't have to ask Zoralja's machines for help. He's been making a concerted effort to bolster his forces, sparing but a fraction for the people's protection. He thinks nothing of our safety, unlike Queen Sphene. That's enough, Mahusa. If you have grievances, I'll hear them later. But to speak of the king now... No, she's right. He's never been one to look after his people. Anyway, thanks for letting us tour the farm. The folk here are delightful, and it was a pleasure to meet them. You couldn't have favored us with more uplifting words. My people are my pride and joy. And you never fail to let us know, nor how much you care. Of course, you're my precious family, all of you. Why is she so nice? You seem a good sort, Sphene, that I'll admit. But you'll forgive me if I'm not ready to lower my guard for the enemy queen just yet. Ah ha ha ha, for you to be called that, I dread to imagine what villainy your majesty has committed. Come now, this is no laughing matter. It isn't, that's very rude. A ruler is responsible for the welfare of countless lives, and one wrong decision can lead to untold suffering. Failure is unconscionable. Unconscionable, I'm sorry. Now I believe we're done with the farm. Let's move on, shall we?